Here are 5 fantasy-relevant players that will send shockwaves through the fantasy football world when they sign with their new team in the coming weeks. There is arguably no better feeling in fantasy football than when you land an absolute steal. You get my 2025 Fantasy Football Draft Dominator, which is jam-packed with strategy and analysis for 250-plus players. And he's been strong in fantasy football. He's averaging over 18 fantasy points per game over 25 career games where he's played at least 73% of the offensive snaps. 2025 Week Winner, formerly known as the Heat Map. So you can conquer start-sit dilemmas, find plug-and-play streamers, and dominate your weekly matchups with this one-of-a-kind resource, Discord community, where you can get personalized advice from 180-plus and counting sharp fantasy football minds that are helping each other dominate. 365 days of elite fantasy football analysis, resources, and Discord community. What's up, my friend? It's mustached Mikey Henninger from Basement Brewed Fantasy Football, and thank you so much for tuning into episode 52, aka Season 2, Episode 2 of Inside the 20. If you didn't already know, I post fantasy football content every single day on LinkedIn around 10 or 11 a.m. Central. So follow me if you want to spice up your bland LinkedIn feed with fantasy football content. But don't tell your employer. Anyways, more often than not, my post is a fantasy football relevant poll that you can vote on, but it's combined with fantasy football analysis as well. Now, lately, some of my most popular polls have been asking where key or soon-to-be free agents will land in 2025. Now, if you didn't already know, NFL free agents can officially sign with their new teams starting on Wednesday, March 12th. And the NFL's legal free agent negotiation window opens on Monday, March 10th, which is undoubtedly the day that Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter will send shockwaves through the fantasy football community. So today, let's discuss some of those key fantasy football players who may be on the move, including where they might land and what it might mean for fantasy football in 2025. Let's start with one of the dominoes that has already fallen this offseason. On Friday, February 14th, I almost forgot something super important that day. Can you guess what it is? Think about it.
You will never get this. You will never get this. La 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 la.
February 14th. I'll give you a quick hint. My wife was almost not happy. If you guessed that I almost forgot to post on LinkedIn that day, then you guessed right. What can I say? My wife loves my LinkedIn posts. But thankfully, thank goodness, I did not forget. Okay, instead, I did post a poll asking where Deebo Samuel would play his next NFL game. Now, as I always do, because I want to avoid using my gut, I want to avoid using opinions when I'm creating fantasy football content, I used data when creating this poll. I used Vegas sportsbooks, I used betting odds to offer options for where Deebo Samuel would end up. At the time of that poll, the Washington Commanders were narrow favorites to land Deebo Samuel, according to Vegas sportsbooks, with about 3-1 odds. Now, the Chargers, the Panthers, and the Broncos, they weren't far behind with 4-1 odds, 5-1 odds, and 6-1 odds, respectively. And sure enough, the Washington Commanders captured 24% of the vote in my poll, which was the majority, and lo and behold, 16 days later, the San Francisco 49ers traded Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round pick. So, before we get into the dominoes that are still standing, let's discuss the initial fantasy football reactions, the initial fantasy football impact of Deebo Samuel becoming the newest member of the Washington Commanders. Deebo's been like a box of chocolate since entering the league as the 49ers' 36th overall pick from South Carolina back in 2019. You never know what you're going to get from Deebo Samuel. He's finished as fantasy's wide receiver 31 or worse in 4 of 6 seasons in the NFL, but also top 15 or better in the other 2 seasons, including finishing as fantasy's wide receiver 3 overall in 2021. On the bright side, he's joining a rocket ship offense that finished 5th in scoring and 7th in offensive yards last year, their very first year under offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury and rising superstar Jaden Daniels. But on the dark side, he'll be the theoretical wide receiver 2, maybe, on a run-first offense that finished 5th in rushing attempts but just 25th in passing attempts last year. Of course, Deebo himself is no stranger to run-first offenses. Kyle Shanahan's 49ers offenses finished 22nd or lower in passing attempts in 5 of the 6 years that Deebo Samuel has been in the NFL. And let's not forget that Deebo himself is a significant rushing threat in the NFL, rushing for 136 or more rushing yards in 5 of the 6 years that he's been playing in the big leagues, not to mention 20 rushing touchdowns in his career. Plus, Jaden Daniels was a rookie in 2024. He certainly wasn't your ordinary rookie. He didn't play like a rookie, but he was a rookie in 2024, and it's fair to wonder if the passing attempts were limited as Cliff Kingsbury and company tried to ease him into the NFL game. So there's theoretically plenty of room for growth in the passing volume category in year 2 of Jaden Daniels' offense. And even if not, the Commanders did still finish 17th in passing yards and 9th in passing touchdowns, so what they might lack in passing volume, they can more than make up for in passing efficiency. I'll have a lot more coverage on Deebo Samuel in my 2025 Draft Dominator, just as I do for 250 plus players every single year. But ultimately, as of right now, Deebo profiles as a boom or bust wide receiver 2 in Washington's offense. He's somebody that I'll likely be skittish on in season-long fantasy football leagues, but he's a guy that I would love to have in 2025 best ball drafts, especially at his current cost of a mid-7th round pick on drafters. Speaking of drafters, if you're like me and you're already missing fantasy football, and if your favorite part of fantasy football is doing the draft, do a couple best ball drafts over on drafters.com. Enter promo code BBFF when making your first deposit, and Drafters is going to 100% match your first deposit up to $100. It's like getting a free $100 bill to play fantasy football with. But what about you? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Deebo Samuel a smash or a pass with the Washington Commanders in 2025 fantasy football? Okay, well, we were going to talk about T. Higgins, but he was literally just franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals for the 2nd year in a row, so no need to speculate here about where he's going. The Bengals' 33rd overall pick from Clemson in 2020 is an every week wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside after finishing as fantasy's wide receiver 28 or better in 4 of 5 seasons, including a career best wide receiver 17 finish just last year. Are you a software wizard? A code ninja? A forge master? Or maybe even just a mad scientist? Then come build your career ladder with Infinity Labs, an award-winning technology company, best place to work, and business of the year with best-in-class benefits and compensation. Visit i-labs.tech. That's i-labs.tech today, where you can learn more about Infinity Labs, our expanding national presence, and why the status quo has no hold on us. All right, let's discuss one of the dominoes that has not fallen yet. At least as of this recording a couple days ago. Things may have changed by now, by the time you're watching this. But on Wednesday, February 12th, I posted a poll on LinkedIn asking where Cooper Kupp would catch career pass number 635 after it was reported that he and the Rams would be shopping a trade. At the time, the Chargers were the betting favorites to land Cooper Kupp services with 3-1 odds, followed closely by the Bills, the Steelers, and the Broncos with 4-1, 5-1, and 6-1 odds respectively. At the time that the poll closed, 32% of respondents predicted he'd be donning the red, white, and blue with the Buffalo Bills in 2025. But as of this recording 20 days later, the Bills have plummeted to 9th on the betting list with 14-1 odds on betus.com, while the Los Angeles Chargers have fallen to 5th on the list with 8-1 odds. Instead, it's the Denver Broncos that are currently leading the Cooper Kupp sweepstakes with 3-1 odds, followed by the Detroit Lions, New England Patriots, and Kansas City Chiefs with 5-1, 6-1, and 7-1 odds respectively. Now, the Broncos would undoubtedly be an intriguing landing spot for the former 1,900-yard receiver after the Broncos finished 10th in scoring and 11th in passing attempts during Bo Nix's impressive rookie season. And Cooper Kupp would immediately step in as a top 2 option alongside Courtland Sutton in a Sean Payton offense that's finished 5th or higher in passing attempts in 10 of the 20 years that Sean Payton has been either a head coach or an offensive coordinator in the NFL. And as for the Lions, well, they would make for an intriguing landing spot as well, reuniting Cooper Kupp with Jared Goff and joining an offense that's finished top 5 in scoring in each of the last 3 seasons. Of course, all 3 of those top 5 finishes were under offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who has since skipped town for the division rival Chicago Bears. And it's also fair to wonder if there's even much room for Cooper Kupp in an offense that already has Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and former 12th overall pick Jameson Williams already locked in place. And that's not even mentioning Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. As I mentioned in episode 50 just a week ago, there is cause for pause when investing in the Lions offense post Ben Johnson in 2025 fantasy football. And as for the Patriots and the Chiefs, let's just cross those bridges when we get there. No matter where Cooper Kupp ends up, I got you covered. I will have plenty of analysis, plenty of insights, plenty of what to expect from Cooper Kupp in 2025 fantasy football in my 2025 Draft Dominator. But what about you? Let me know what you think. Where do you think Cooper Kupp catches career pass number 635? Drop it into the comments. What about 32-year-old wide receiver Davante Adams? Now, it was literally just reported 21 minutes ago that the New York Jets released Davante Adams. And on Thursday, February 13th, I posted a poll on LinkedIn asking where Davante Adams would catch career pass number 958. At the time of that post, Davante Adams' likeliest destination was in Buffalo with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, checking in with 3-1 odds, followed closely by the Steelers, Chargers, and Commanders with 4-1, 5-1, and 6-1 odds, respectively. The Chargers won that poll with 32% of the votes, and quite frankly, for fantasy football purposes, I really hope that doesn't prove to be the case. Greg Roman's offenses have finished 28th or lower in 10 of the 11 seasons that he has been an offensive coordinator in the National Football League. We do not want Davante going to the Los Angeles Chargers. But the Bills? That's an obvious dream landing spot with no clear-cut wide receiver 1 in a Josh Allen offense that's finished 9th or better in passing yards and 7th or better in passing touchdowns in each of the last 5 seasons. And let's not forget that Stephon Diggs posted 103 or more catches, nearly 1,200 receiving yards, and 8+ touchdowns in all 4 years that he spent with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Sign me up if Davante Adams goes to the Buffalo Bills. Conversely, if Davante Adams ends up as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I will be much, much less excited about Davante Adams in 2025 fantasy football in an Arthur Smith offense that's finished 25th or lower in passing attempts in 5 of the 6 years that Arthur Smith has been an offensive play caller. And that includes last year, his first year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he finished 29th in passing attempts and 27th in passing yards. There's also nothing but question marks at the quarterback position in Pittsburgh at the current moment. Unless... On Tuesday, February 11th, I asked LinkedIn where they thought Aaron Rodgers would be playing football in 2025. And shortly after that post, the Steelers became heavy favorites. We're talking minus 165 to land the 41-year-old future Hall of Fame quarterback. But that was weeks ago. Since then, things have changed dramatically, with the New York Football Giants emerging as the heavy favorites to land Aaron Rodgers with sudden minus 300 odds as of the time of this recording, making it look much more likely than not that Aaron Rodgers stays in New York but trades the J for a G. And if that happens, give me all of the Malik Neighbors in 2025 fantasy football. He'd be a legitimate dark horse to lead all wide receivers in fantasy football points in 2025 if Aaron Rodgers was his quarterback. Would you like to win an autographed NFL jersey of your choice? Enter my March Madness giveaway and give it a shot. If you didn't know, I do a brand new giveaway for my subscribers every single month. In January, the winner of my giveaway, which was a fantasy football contest for the NFL playoffs, they won this awesome Drew Brees signed New Orleans Saints jersey. In February, we did a Super Bowl predictions contest where the winner, who is a Seattle Seahawks fan, chose this awesome retro JSN signed Seattle Seahawks jersey. In March, we're doing March Madness brackets where the winner will get their choice of an autographed NFL jersey worth $150 in value. In April, we're going to do an NFL mock draft competition where the winner gets an autographed NFL jersey of their choice. We do a brand new giveaway every single month for Basement Brewed Fantasy Football subscribers. There's no added cost for them to enter. You simply must be a member of Basement Brewed Fantasy Football. And right now, you can take advantage of early bird pricing. For just $6.99 per month, which is less than one trip to McDonald's, you'll get my 2025 Draft Dominator, you'll get my 2025 Week Winners, formerly known as Heat Maps, you'll get access to my Discord community of fantasy football brains, and of course, you'll automatically be entered into my giveaways every single month. Take advantage of this early bird promotion by using the link that I left for you in the show notes, but don't wait because this special offer expires when the NCAA tournament tips off on Thursday, March 20th. That will be all for today's discussion. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to help me in my quest to reach 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And be sure to tune in next Friday, March 14th, for episode 52, where we're going to break down the fantasy football implications of all the free agency frenzy that's set to ensue starting on Monday. Until then, I'll see you in the basement. Cheers. This brew's for you.